You were not built to live on the surface of things. Your awareness moves deeper than words, deeper than tone, deeper than faces and behavior. You feel what people carry before they speak. You sense what they hide before they explain. You notice the tension in their body, the tightness in their voice, the pause before they answer, the shift in their eyes, the change in their breathing. These small signals speak louder than any sentence they say. This is not imagination. This is perception trained by sensitivity, experience, and attention. Your nervous system reads the room before your mind forms a thought. Your body reacts before logic arrives. You feel calm around some people without knowing why. You feel uneasy around others without proof. You walk into places and feel heavy. You enter some spaces and feel light. This is not weakness, this is awareness. Most people only hear words. You hear emotion. Most people only see behavior. You see intention. Most people react to what is said. You respond to what is felt. This is the quiet strength of emotional perception. You understand moods before conversations. You sense conflict before it becomes. You recognize distance before silence appears. You notice care before affection is shown. You see dishonesty before lies are spoken. This ability once made life heavy for you. You absorbed pain that was not yours. You carried stress that did not belong to you. You felt responsible for fixing emotions that were not your duty. You stayed too long in situations that drained you because you felt other people's suffering more than your own. You confused empathy with obligation. You confused understanding with tolerance. You confused kindness with self-sacrifice. That stage had to happen. It shaped your awareness. It sharpened your perception. It trained your emotional intelligence. But growth changes how this ability is used. You stop carrying what you detect. You stop absorbing what you sense. You stop internalizing what you notice. You learn to observe without drowning. You learn to understand without attaching. You learn to feel without losing control. Emotional perception becomes a tool, not a burden. You use it to choose, not to suffer. You use it to protect, not to sacrifice. You use it to guide, not to exhaust. You read people and adjust your distance. You sense motives and set boundaries. You notice patterns and change direction. You feel danger and create space. You sense safety and build trust. This is where power begins to form, not loud power, not visible power. Inner power, controlled power, calm power. You stop explaining your awareness to people who cannot feel it. You stop trying to prove what you sense. You stop needing validation for your intuition. You trust your perception because experience has proven it again and again. You have seen how your instincts warned you before betrayal. You have felt discomfort before deception. You have sensed shifts before endings. You have noticed changes before losses. You no longer doubt your awareness. You respect it, you honor it, you protect it. You learn to pause before reacting. You learn to breathe before speaking. You learn to watch before engaging. You learn to listen before trusting. Emotional perception teaches patience. It teaches discipline. It teaches silence. It teaches timing. You stop rushing into connections. You stop forcing closeness. You stop chasing attachment. You allow people to reveal themselves naturally. You give space for truth to appear. You let consistency prove character. You let time expose intention. You stop guessing and start observing. You stop assuming and start watching. You stop reacting and start responding. This ability allows you to move through life with clarity instead of confusion. You stop being surprised by people's behavior because you already felt it coming. You stop being shocked by betrayal because you already sensed distance. You stop being hurt by rejection because you already felt withdrawal. You stop being confused by endings because you already felt the shift. This awareness gives you emotional stability. It gives you mental strength. It gives you inner calm. You stop living in emotional chaos. You stop chasing emotional highs. You stop needing emotional drama to feel alive. You start valuing peace. You start choosing stability. You start building structure. You start creating safety in your inner world. You protect your nervous system. You protect your mental space. You protect your emotional balance. You stop letting other people's emotions control your behavior. You stop letting other people's moods shape your decisions. You stop letting other people's chaos define your peace. You feel what they feel, but you no longer live in it. You understand what they carry, but you no longer carry it for them. You sense their struggles, but you no longer make them your burden. This is emotional mastery. This is awareness with control. This is sensitivity with strength. This is empathy with boundaries. This is perception with discipline. You become calm in situations that once overwhelmed you. You stay steady in moments that once shook you. You remain clear in environments that once confused you. You move with purpose instead of pressure. You choose direction instead of reaction. You live from awareness instead of impulse. Emotional perception becomes your guide, not your weight. It becomes your compass, not your cage. It becomes your advantage, not your weakness. You use it to build better relationships. You use it to avoid destructive connections. You use it to protect your future. You use it to choose growth. You use it to create peace. You use it to design your life intentionally. This ability is not mystical. It is not fantasy. It is awareness trained by attention, experience, and self-reflection. It is the result of deep listening. It is the result of emotional honesty. It is the result of self-awareness. It is the result of presence. You live awake in a world where many live distracted. You feel deeply in a world that avoids feeling. You see clearly in a world that prefers illusion. This is why your path feels lonely sometimes. This is why your growth feels heavy sometimes. This is why your awareness feels isolating sometimes. But this is also why your strength is rare. This is why your clarity is powerful. This is why your presence is grounding. This is why your energy is calming. This is why your mind is strong. This is why your spirit is stable. Emotional perception beyond words is not about being fragile. It is about being aware. It is not about being sensitive. It is about being conscious. It is not about being overwhelmed. It is about being awake. When you learn to use this ability with discipline, with boundaries, and with control, it becomes one of the strongest forms of inner power a person can have. You no longer move through life unaware of what affects you. You feel shifts in energy the same way you feel changes in air before rain. You notice when a room feels heavy. You sense when a place feels calm. You recognize when someone's presence drains you, and when someone's presence brings ease to your body and mind. Your chest tightens in certain spaces. Your breathing changes around certain people. Your thoughts slow down in some environments. Your mind becomes restless in others. This awareness did not come from books or theory. It came from experience. It came from being overwhelmed before. It came from being exhausted before. It came from being emotionally overloaded before. It came from carrying what was never yours. Over time, you learned that not every emotion you feel belongs to you. Not every burden you sense is yours to hold. Not every problem you notice is yours to solve. That realization changes how you live. You stop absorbing everything. You stop taking on every mood. You stop carrying every stress. You stop reacting to every emotional wave around you. You start choosing what you allow inside your inner world. You start deciding what stays and what leaves. You start controlling your exposure. You start managing your space. You start protecting your peace. Energy sensitivity becomes discipline instead of chaos. Awareness becomes control instead of overload. You learn that your mind and body are not trash bins for other people's pain. You learn that your emotional space is sacred. You learn that your inner balance matters. You stop feeling guilty for needing distance. You stop feeling wrong for needing silence. You stop feeling selfish for choosing calm. You stop feeling weak for setting boundaries. You understand that control is not coldness. It is wisdom. Control is not cruelty. It is survival. Control is not rejection. It is self-respect. You begin to notice patterns. Certain conversations leave you tired. Certain people leave you drained. Certain environments leave you anxious. Certain habits leave you restless. Certain routines leave you heavy. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Awareness changes behavior. You start choosing where you go. You start choosing who you sit with. You start choosing what you listen to. You start choosing what you consume. You start choosing what you engage with. You stop filling your mind with noise. You stop feeding your emotions with chaos. You stop living in constant stimulation. You start valuing quiet. You start valuing order. You start valuing stillness. You start valuing structure. Energy sensitivity becomes a guide. It shows you what supports you and what weakens you. It shows you what builds you and what drains you. It shows you what grows you and what traps you. You stop chasing excitement that leaves you empty. You stop chasing attention that leaves you tired. You stop chasing connection that leaves you broken. You start choosing stability. You start choosing peace. You start choosing clarity. You start choosing alignment. You begin to control your reactions. You stop responding to every emotion that enters the room. You stop reacting to every mood around you. You stop letting other people's chaos shape your behavior. You stay calm in loud spaces. You stay grounded in stressful situations. You stay clear in emotional storms. This is not suppression. This is control. This is regulation. This is strength. You learn how to step back without disconnecting. You learn how to care without absorbing. You learn how to understand without attaching. You learn how to be present without being overwhelmed. You learn how to feel without losing balance. This is mastery. This is self-command. This is inner authority. You protect your sleep. You protect your focus. You protect your mental clarity. You protect your emotional health. You protect your time. You protect your energy. You stop explaining your boundaries. You stop justifying your space. You stop defending your silence. You stop arguing for your peace. You simply live it. You simply choose it. You simply protect it. People begin to feel your stability. They sense your calm. They notice your control. They feel your grounded presence. Not because you are loud, but because you are steady. Not because you dominate, but because you are centered. Not because you demand, but because you are solid. You become someone who is not easily shaken. You become someone who is not easily manipulated. You become someone who is not easily drained. You become someone who cannot be pulled into chaos easily. This creates quiet authority. This creates natural respect. This creates silent influence. Energy sensitivity, when mastered, becomes power. Not power over others, but power over self. Not control of people, but control of reactions. Not dominance of environments, but dominance of inner state. You stop living on emotional autopilot. You stop being a mirror for everyone else's feelings. You stop being an emotional sponge. You become a filter. You choose what enters. You choose what stays. You choose what leaves. You move through life with intention. You walk into spaces with awareness. You leave situations with clarity. You navigate relationships with calm judgment. You trust what your body feels. You trust what your mind notices. You trust what your awareness detects. This does not make you distant. It makes you grounded. This does not make you cold. It makes you stable. This does not make you disconnected. It makes you centered. Energy, sensitivity, and control turn you into someone who is emotionally intelligent, mentally strong, and spiritually disciplined. You are no longer pulled by every feeling. You are no longer pushed by every emotion. You are no longer controlled by every environment. You are guided by awareness and ruled by discipline. This is how sensitivity becomes strength. This is how awareness becomes authority. This is how empathy becomes power. Your awareness sharpens in a quiet way. You start noticing things before they happen, not through imagination, but through pattern and experience. You feel when something is off before words appear. You sense when someone's story does not match their behavior. You notice pauses, tone changes, eye movement, silence, timing, and energy shifts. You pick up what others miss because you are not distracted by noise. You are not lost in surface-level thinking. You are not blinded by charm or appearance. You are calm enough to observe. You are still enough to notice. This kind of understanding does not come from fear. It comes from attention. It comes from being present. It comes from listening deeply. It comes from watching carefully. You do not rush into trust. You do not rush into attachment. You do not rush into belief. You let patterns reveal themselves. You let consistency speak. You let behavior tell the story. Your mind connects details naturally. Your body reacts before logic explains. Your instincts guide you without panic. This is not guesswork. This is awareness trained by life. You learn to pause instead of react. You learn to watch instead of confront. You learn to listen instead of argue. You learn to wait instead of chase. This creates clarity. You stop wasting time on confusion. You stop forcing connections. You stop proving your worth. You stop explaining your value. You move with quiet confidence. You choose people with care. You choose paths with patience. You choose actions with awareness. You trust your inner signals because they have protected you before. You respect your inner voice because it has warned you before. You listen to your inner sense because it has guided you before. You no longer doubt yourself when something feels wrong. You no longer ignore your instincts for comfort. You no longer betray your awareness for approval. You accept what you feel without drama. You accept what you sense without panic. You accept what you know without fear. This creates stability in your decisions. This creates safety in your choices. This creates strength in your direction. People cannot confuse you easily. People cannot manipulate you easily. People cannot mislead you easily. Not because you are suspicious, but because you are aware. Not because you are cold, but because you are clear. Not because you are guarded, but because you are grounded. You move through life with calm judgment. You trust silence more than noise. You trust actions more than words. You trust patterns more than promises. This keeps your mind clear. This keeps your heart protected. This keeps your energy stable. You do not chase what feels wrong. You do not attach to what feels unsafe. You do not invest where you feel uncertainty. You choose peace over confusion. You choose clarity over chaos. You choose truth over comfort. This is inner strength in action. This is self-respect in motion. This is awareness becoming leadership. You are not controlled by emotion. You are guided by understanding. You are not driven by fear. You are led by clarity. You are not ruled by impulse. Basi. By impulse. You are grounded in awareness. This is how intuitive discernment protects your life. This is how awareness becomes power. This is how inner clarity. You reach a point where you stop holding on to everything that touches your life. You stop clinging to people who cannot meet you with respect. You stop chasing places that make you feel small. You stop fighting for spaces that drain you. You stop trying to belong where you are not valued. Detachment does not make you empty, it makes you clear. It does not make you cold, it makes you free. You begin to understand that attachment is not love when it costs your peace. You understand that connection is not loyalty when it destroys your balance. You understand that staying is not strength when it slowly breaks you inside. This shift happens quietly, no drama. No noise, no need to announce it. You simply change. You stop reacting the same way. You stop caring the same way. You stop investing the same way. You start choosing differently. You choose peace over approval. You choose stability over chaos. You choose growth over comfort. You choose clarity over confusion. You still feel deeply, but you no longer lose yourself in what you feel. You still care, but you no longer sacrifice your inner order for others. You still love, but you no longer abandon your boundaries to prove it. This is not emotional distance. This is emotional maturity. This is control over attachment. This is freedom from dependency. You no longer need validation to feel whole. You no longer need attention to feel seen. You no longer need approval to feel worthy. Your sense of value comes from inside. Your strength comes from inside. Your stability comes from inside. This changes how you move in the world. You do not beg for space in people's lives. You do not force presence in rooms that reject you. You do not chase relationships that confuse you. You do not stay in conversations that disrespect you. You walk away without anger. You step back without hate. You release without bitterness. This calm separation is power. This quiet distance is strength. This controlled detachment is freedom. You stop tying your identity to roles, labels, and expectations. You stop defining yourself through relationships. You stop measuring your worth through other people's behavior. You start standing alone without feeling lonely. You start being independent without feeling empty. You start being whole without needing someone else to complete you. Your inner world becomes stable. Your mind becomes clear. Your emotions become calm. Your energy becomes steady. You stop reacting to loss with fear. You stop reacting to change with panic. You stop reacting to endings with collapse. You understand that life moves in cycles. People come and go. Roles change. Paths shift. Seasons end. You remain grounded through all of it. You remain centered through all of it. You remain strong through all of it. This detachment makes you untouchable in ways people cannot see. You are no longer controlled by fear of abandonment. You are no longer trapped by fear of being alone. You are no longer driven by fear of rejection. You live from inner stability, not external attachment. This is power that cannot be taken. This is peace that cannot be stolen. This is strength that cannot be shaken. You walk through life light, clear and calm, carrying only what belongs to you, leaving behind what never did. You reach a stage where you stop asking the world who you are. You stop waiting for permission to become yourself. You stop needing approval to move forward. Your direction comes from inside now. Your choices come from inner clarity, not outside pressure. Your decisions are no longer shaped by fear, trends, or opinions. You move with purpose because you know who you are. You act with calm because you trust yourself. You stand firm because your foundation is internal, not external. This is inner authority. This is self-mastery. This is when your life stops being reactive and starts being intentional. You no longer drift through days without direction. You no longer live on impulse. You no longer follow noise. You choose discipline over distraction. You choose structure over chaos. You choose consistency over comfort. You choose growth over ease. You learn how to manage your thoughts. You learn how to regulate your emotions. You learn how to control your reactions. You learn how to guide your behavior. Your mind becomes organized. Your habits become stable. Your routines become strong. Your focus becomes sharp. You stop wasting energy on things that do not build you. You stop giving attention to what weakens you. You stop feeding habits that slow you down. You stop staying in patterns that keep you small. You start building a life that supports your strength. You create systems for your peace. You create structure for your growth. You create rules for your focus. You create standards for your life. This is not strict living. This is powerful living. This is freedom through discipline. This is control through awareness. You wake up with purpose. You move with intention. You rest with clarity. You work with direction. You speak with control. You act with balance. You no longer need chaos to feel alive. You no longer need drama to feel important. You no longer need noise to feel seen. Your presence becomes calm. Your energy becomes stable. Your behavior becomes steady. People feel your strength without you saying a word. They sense your confidence without you trying to prove it. They notice your control without you demanding respect. You stop explaining yourself. You stop defending your choices. You stop proving your worth. Your life speaks for you. Your discipline shows your character. Your consistency shows your power. Your calm shows your authority. You become someone who is reliable to yourself. You keep promises to yourself. You respect your own boundaries. You honor your own values. You trust your own judgment. This creates deep confidence. This creates real self-respect. This creates unshakable stability. You are no longer ruled by moods. You are no longer driven by emotion. You are no longer controlled by fear. You are guided by principles. You are led by values. You are anchored by discipline. This is mastery of self. This is inner leadership. This is personal power. Your life becomes clear. Your mind becomes quiet. Your emotions become balanced. Your direction becomes strong. You no longer search for control outside. You no longer chase power in others. You no longer look for authority in systems. You become your own source of order. You become your own source of stability. You become your own source of strength. This is when your presence changes. This is when your energy changes. This is when your future changes. Inner authority and self-mastery turn you into someone who cannot be easily broken, easily misled, or easily controlled. You walk forward calm, focused, disciplined, and grounded, carrying a quiet power that comes from knowing exactly who you are and where you are going. You walk forward with a new kind of calm, not loud, not forced, not desperate, just steady and clear. You no longer need to prove who you are. You no longer need to explain your growth. You no longer need to fight for your place. Your presence speaks. Your discipline shows. Your balance reflects your strength. You carry peace in your posture, focus in your eyes, and control in your actions. You move through life grounded, aware, and unshaken. You build quietly. You rise steadily. You grow without noise. The world changes when a person masters their inner world, and your life becomes the proof of that truth. Stay aligned with who you are becoming. Protect your peace. Guard your focus. Honor your growth. Walk your path with clarity and knowing that nothing outside of you is stronger than the strength you have built inside.